Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Tarot time. Happy Monday. Yep, it's on. Happy Monday. Did everyone have a nice weekend? I did. I actually ended up going out again. 2 weekends in a row. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I have my transparent tarot, second edition. I don't even know what the first edition is. And I find the more I use it, the better I get. Okay. It's something that I think takes time and practice. You can't, for me, and I only speak about me, I ain't speaking about any other reader. You can't really read it as a regular tarot. So we are going to shuffle. And I found that you have to, after you put like 4 cards, that's pretty much you have to start something new. Okay, so when I draw the first card, here, let me move that. Hopefully you can see that too. Hold on a second. Let me zoom you guys in. There you go. So I feel like you could be coming into conflict with somebody. Um, when sometimes I have a really bad potty mouth and I try to clean it up for you guys. But you know what? Screw you guys. I feel like this is a who's got a bigger dick. So maybe one of those things that you're going to come across somebody where you kind of got to go head to head. No pun intended. Um, so, it shows that 2 different people, are coming together. But, wands are usually fire energy, and we are in fire season. We're in Leo season. We just had Lionsgate the other day. Hopefully everybody manifested their dreams. But when I see the 2 of wands like this and I see this one, I think to myself, yeah, there's going to be a question and answer period. That's the first thing that came to me. So I feel like, 2 people come together and, one's throwing out one question, another one's throwing out another. And they're really trying to see who's going to one up the other one. And I get that after a while, one of you gives up. Okay. So if it's not you, it's the other person. Like they realize that they just don't have the answers that you want. And they know that maybe they screwed up in a situation. Maybe it's something where somebody, did the wrong thing and, you confront them, or vice versa. Could always be the other way. And somebody just sits it out. Someone's like, you know what? I'm sitting this one out. I'm not going to engage with you. I am not going to do this with you. And I think you really want peace. You don't want to do this. You want to, find peace. And there's something spiritual about this. Like you could have walked away from this whole situation and you could have not argued with the person. You could have not brought up the past. But there's something that said, no, I want answers. And it's funny because these answers that you're going to get are not going to fulfill anything for you. Okay. They're not going to make you happy. They're not going to do anything. It's worthless. Okay. It's just a worthless situation. That's why I think when the person sits down, you're going to realize that. I feel too that they may turn around and love bomb you. So if this is an ex who kind of comes back, because we're still in Mercury retrograde, I think we're there till the 12th, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe somebody kind of shows their head again, and this could be work too. And they realize they're not going to win this battle. So then the next thing they do is they offer friendship, love, whatever. They're down on one knee and they're offering some sort of, I don't know if I want to say booby prize, but they're offering you something, like they're trying to cover up what they did. Like they know they screwed up and they don't want to admit it. Okay. They don't want to admit it. I feel like, you know what? You've been practicing this conversation in your head. We're getting a story, folks. I feel like you've been practicing this conversation in your head with this person. Okay. So it could be work. It could be friends. It could be lovers. It could be anything. but it's definitely a relationship. And when the opportunity comes, because don't forget it's coming, you go for it. You really go for it. And you realize that at some point, you're like, what the hell am I doing? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's almost like taking a puppy out of a cage. Like you realize that you don't have to do this because what they're going to say is not important. And you really decided that you really don't care, even though you've been having this conversation in your head for so long. You're really the only one who's held on to it. So, in other words, you've been having this conversation in your head for so long that you want to discuss what they did to you, when, why, and all this other stuff. But you really don't care, you know? And I think we're all guilty of that, where we hang on to things for longer than we should. It's hard to let go. We always say just let it go, but it's hard. But it's a learned practice, and once you can learn it, you're in better shape. I will say that. So I feel like you are ready at some point to just turn around, and walk away. That's what you are doing, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing because you're getting nothing out of here. Okay, you're going to get somebody who tries to schmooze you over, and you're not getting the answers that you want. You're not going to get the answers that are in your noggin when you had the make believe discussion with the person. Okay, you're not going to get that. So don't even try. And I feel like, you know what? This person respects you in a way for that. They respect you, actually, it's a weird scenario, respects you for coming towards them and asking them. But I think they even respect you more for walking away. They're like, maybe she's changed. Maybe he's changed. Maybe they don't hold on to stuff. Maybe, they've learned to walk away. Maybe in your other relationship with this person at one time, you badgered them. You were constantly on them for whatever reason, and like I said, friend, family, foe, whoever. But now you've decided it's just not worth it. And you're putting down your sword and you're walking away. And now they admire you for that. They're like, well, maybe you did change. Now, if it's not you, it could be the reverse. It could be someone else. Maybe somebody else, told you lies, cheated, or whatever, and they've done some changing. It could be either or. All right, my dears, I hope this made sense. This is Monday, all day until it's canceled. And this is Coffee and Tarot time, and I am the Queen of Wands. Oh, and let me shout out, I was at Haven the other night, and I met a great group of young people, youngins, same age as my daughter. What a great group of young people, young adults. I don't want to call them kids, but to me, they're kids. Very sociable, well-spoken, articulate, fun to talk to. So big shout out to them. All right, everyone. It's Monday. Have a great day.